You have reached the Cave Planet Podcast. The Cave Planet Podcast is a place where we talk to people who are making the kind of stuff that they want and doing the kind of stuff they want to do in a place where that may not seem possible. I'm Jacob Brady. I'm joined here by my friend Jake Ferko, co-host of the Cave Planet Podcast.
Yes, indeed.
This is episode 1. We have tried this before,
We've been putting our best efforts forth.
I wouldn't say that we're perfectionist, but we just want it to be smooth. We wanted the first episode to really help you guys get a feel for who we are and why we want to do this.
Yeah, we're genuinely interested in this being portrayed the right way.
Yeah. We are going to have guests, but like I said, this first episode's just between me and Jake.
Yeah,
it's just
you to set the pace.
Yeah, set the pace. Because, I mean, if we shot with a guest, people don't know who we are.
Yeah.
You know, the premise. So just a little bit of background is we're both from Punxsutawney, PA. It's a small town.
Mm-hmm.
And we met each other through... Jake rode BMX, I skated. And through that, kind of the natural progression is you start filming. You get more interested in brands. You get
the
more...
culture itself.
Yeah, just the culture. You just get immersed in it because it makes you feel bigger than where you are.
Yeah.
It kind of gives you that first sense of like, this is what I'm really into.
Mm-hmm.
For those who don't know, I want them to get a sense of who you are. So explain what you're into.
Obviously going off what you said, you already have an idea. I'm deep into even though I ride BMX, I'm into the skate culture and that whole aspect, that whole art and film and everything that goes into that. But I'm big into streetwear, and I actually started my own lifestyle streetwear brand called Seller Services, and we'll talk more about that. But right now I'm just designing clothes with my friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really, really cool stuff.
Thanks, man. I think so.
I remember the first time that you introduced me to Seller.
Yeah.
I had invited you over because it had been a while since you and I had hung out at that time.
Yeah, we had a decent gap.
But I had a very... That was pleasant.
I feel like that was that day or that little period of time where I came back was the spark that got things rolling.
Yeah.
Got everything rolling again.
That was definitely that was like a special moment because
really,
it was basically we just got back to what we've been doing forever, which is riding BMX and skateboarding. But Jake had told me this idea about...
I don't think you knew anything at all about
I didn't know
it
anything about it, but Jake had told me that he had started making clothes. And, so, you know... When you first hear something like that, you think, okay, well...
That could go so many different ways.
Yeah, are you really going to make clothes?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I know Jake.
Yeah.
And I know that he's got an impeccable taste.
Thanks, man.
But I wasn't sure that he was actually following through with this whole
good to hear from someone else.
Clothing brand idea.
Yeah.
So anyway, Jake had shown me these crew necks that he already had made. And at that point, I knew I was just like, we need to reconnect because it had been too long.
Oh, yeah.
And I was so impressed with
I was so happy to show them to you, man, too. And I was so curious to see your response.
Yeah.
That's like a big, you were one of the dudes that I know are as close to similar interests to me as... we have lots of cool friends and close friends that are basically the same interests and ideas and hobbies as us, but I'll say you are definitely the closest in relative taste of things as a whole to me as anyone else.
And I would say our good friends aren't necessarily that, and they're not that interested in culture.
Yeah.
A lot of them, they do really cool things. They play in bands.
Yeah, really cool things.
But you don't see that on them.
Yeah.
Really. They kind of just act and look kind of like normal guys.
Not to talk them down.
I'm not talking to them down at all. It's just
yeah.
that's how me and you connect.
Yeah.
And that's how it was nice. It was nice to get back to that.
Yeah, it was refreshing. Definitely. Yeah. And it helps like boost your motivation in that aspect whenever you have, even if it's one other person who kind of is like interested in what you're trying to do. That goes a long way.
Yeah.
To help you continue putting efforts forth.
And that's why I was so impressed with that when you showed me those shirts and you had this idea, and it was real. It was a real idea.
Yeah, it was real. I had a physical thing to prove to you. It wasn't like, I just kind of drew some photos. I was sitting here at this table and I drew a picture of like a made-up design, didn't do anything with it. I had an actual thing to...
And I mean, that stuff is the best. Like when you have a physical thing that you made and it's just in your hands. Because I mean, I work mainly with, digital stuff. I can't hold what I make hardly ever. So I mean, that feeling, I'm sure, is...
Oh man, it's the best feeling. I have two different T-shirts coming right now, and I cannot wait to... It makes the biggest difference to actually have the physical garment in your hand with your design on it. It's like, whoo!
Yeah.
It's the best.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
I bet.
And then, I mean, the best... We'll talk about this more. I want to talk about this more later on, but it is... For me, it is the most euphoric, like, fire inside me when I see someone else wearing it. It's it's the best thing in the world to see someone else, especially if it's someone I wouldn't expect to be wearing it. Yeah, and it's been happening. So definitely. That's the best feeling.
Yeah,
keeps you It definitely is fueling me to continue it, even if I'm not like making a ton of money off of it. What do I care? It's a good, and I guess that's the point we can get into here, is that you don't need to start off doing something for profits or for tons of views or impressions on it. You kind of need to start off with that attitude, doing it for yourself and for true accomplishment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's Jake.
Yeah. Yeah.
We got a good look into that.
Didn't mean to drag that on a little longer.
I don't think we scratched the surface even, but
yeah. We got plenty more to come, hopefully. Before the podcast, we'll learn a little bit more about both of us. But what are you doing? What's happening with you right now?
Well, basically, like I said, Jake and I grew up very immersed in skateboarding and BMX culture, but we didn't have a very big scene of people that did it. We had an older group of friends that kind of showed us the way a little bit, but I mean, at the same time,
it definitely helped.
We were always outside of it, and basically, I'm the type of guy that no one was ever going to go out of their way to film me skate. No one was going to do the things that I dreamt of for me. So I've always been... I learned at a really young age that I just have to do it myself. And I've pretty much gone by that code of ethics ever since. When we were in high school, we were filming videos, but I basically, through making my own videos and kind of creating the sort of stuff that I liked and kind of finding myself in that skateboarding culture, I reached out to Trevor Cushing, who has been a good friend, but I mean he's worked at Vice now for off and on probably a decade.
Oh wow. I didn't know it was that long.
Yeah, he's been there since he got out of college, I think. But anyway, I had gone to him. He's a good friend, and kind of just asked, like, this is all that I care about. I mean, I don't really know what I want to do other than this. This is the most gratifying feeling, is making something and having it come together and have people be surprised by how that looks. It's got like its own natural high to it.
Couldn't agree more with that.
So anyway, Trevor suggested that I go to like a more of a hands-on school. That way I could just learn how to edit, how to work a camera, like the official way, and not go the whole big college route of reading a textbook for 3 years about
watching Orson
film
Welles
history.
movies over and over again.
So anyway, I went to a film school. I did 18 months. It was the producer and original screenwriter of Night of the Living Dead. They had opened up a film program like 20 minutes from Punxsutawney. So I drove there and learned my stuff. And I got out and I did some stuff by myself, just filming me and my friends go skate.
Yeah.
Whatever, but it really wasn't anything, and there was no motivation there, because being the content that you want to put out,
yeah,
like having your personality be that content, I think is just not me. I couldn't do that.
That's like more of a vlogging thing.
Yeah,
I can't get that's a big thing nowadays, and I can understand what you're saying. It doesn't feel natural, or like it feels like you're pushing.
I got to a point after graduating college that I realized that I wanted my videos and my artwork to be bigger.
Mm-hmm.
And I still wanted to do it myself, but I just wanted it to have more of a presence. And, it through doing that, it gave me more of an excuse to get more work done and kind of venture out and find cooler things to go out and capture or whatever. And it was the day that my first nephew was born in the hospital. I decided to just go by the alias Gray Sequence TV.
Yeah.
And so ever since then, it was just, that was my goal, was to make Gray Sequence TV an official media source for people to look at the kind of stuff that I was making.
Yeah.
Which is mostly all derivative from the whole DIY mentality that I've gone by for my whole life.
Definitely, it's definitely.
But I mean, basically, that's what I'm doing. That's it has evolved, went through a couple different phases, couple different names. Right now, I've landed on Gray Coast TV. Mm-hmm. That's subject to change.
You think you're gonna stick?
No.
Oh man,
that'll change.
That's news.
I already have like 3 new names that I'm gonna go to, I think.
Wow. You gonna bring them up during this podcast?
Yeah. I mean,
I'm curious.
Well, I mean, we came up with a reason for why this was called Cave Planet.
Yeah.
But basically, through being Gray Sequence TV, when I built a mini ramp in my garage, and I've been calling it the Gray Cave.
Yeah.
So I've been thinking about changing it from Gray Coast to Gray Cave, just because it's just more like...
I like Gray Cave.
Gray Cave, and then maybe even eventually just Cave TV.
Yeah.
Or something, but...
that's not... I mean, that's something that you think someone would have jumped on already.
Yeah.
It
probably has been jumped on, but just...
I like, Cave.
Whatever my own variation of it, if it's taken, but...
No, yeah, definitely.
Just... Basically, that's what I'm doing. I film a lot of skate videos. I film a lot of shows. I try to keep it to bands that I actually listen to and like to go see.
That's good. Probably makes it easier to put the work out that way.
I mean, it started out with some stuff that it was different. It was short films and that sort of thing, which can be really fun, and I still want to do that
I do too, yeah.
That kind of thing. But I guess in the future I'd want it to be more. I wanted to exemplify my taste.
Yeah.
My taste in.
You want it to feel true
art
to yourself.
Direction, and just I want to go out. I realized recently that I think the best way to capture good content is to focus more on having fun and having your camera present, and not trying to get the best content.
I think that's the ultimate way for us to come up, produce the stuff we really want.
Yeah.
It seems like the ultimate way.
Yeah.
And we're not the best at it right now.
No, but I think just basically, rather than say, oh, we're gonna try to get this image out on screen, I think we have a unique image that isn't on screen because we are not documenting what we're truly
Yeah.
doing.
It has a mystique about it.
We're not putting the things that we do out there.
Yeah.
In a way that is...
I don't feel the need that we have to. A lot of times when we're doing these things that we would like to really make some content out of. We talked about this the other day, you and I, about how we have so many great things I can think of off the top of my head where in the past we were doing really cool, fun things and we had no documentation of it whatsoever. Yeah. We're really sucked into the moment, which we're not thinking about, we need other people to see this. We're not really, we don't have that attitude where it's like, we're not the type of people who have, we're not having 100 snaps stories or stuff like that. So,
no.
I mean, if we were to document something, it'd be for a real reason to use it.
Yeah.
To put something true together out of it, not like a quick little social media post.
I'm realizing that with the stuff that I'm making, that there is a difference between the art direction and what it looks like and the content.
Yep.
And that is the two factors that play into making anything.
And that's a big conflict.
So I think what I need to focus on when you're in production is the content.
Yeah.
I mean, you can have, cinematography skills and all that going in, but basically you could get the best shot of the most boring thing in the world and it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, I agree with that.
You kind of have to find that way of how that content is going to come across.
Yeah. I think if you're filming something really extraordinary, doesn't matter how shaky or where you're set up at, if it's like something that's really going to grab the viewer's attention, don't sit there and stress out about the lighting or the angle. Get it on film and even make it look like a little rugged and natural. I think that comes out looking the best way every time.
Yeah.
I think so, at least.
That's the gist of what I'm doing now. But I have bigger aspirations, but I mean, it all kind of goes through that.
Yeah, we all have big aspirations, but you gotta have that root. Root set in.
Yeah, I'm hoping that with each new project that I take on, that it evolves into more of what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, it should. Keep it rolling, and I think we have many good ideas and opportunities to get this stuff out there.
Yeah.
We just gotta. I mean, the best thing you can do is, I think a great point that you can take from that too is don't sit there and stress and think so hard about an idea. Execute it. Get out there and start it, and maybe you end up scrapping 80% of your work, but that 20% could be very meaningful.
Yeah.
And that was my biggest issue with creating things. That's what took me so long.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, that's kind of what we're going through with this.
Yeah.
It's not that we need it to be perfect. It's just we want the first episode to be good because this is what is going to get people.
Everything.
This is what's going to get people to listen to the next one.
Yeah.
So we're hoping that we can get through this a little smoother. I think we can. We definitely are on the right track here. So, do you remember the first moment you realized that you might be the type of person that's going to make things or be a creative type?
Oh man, I would confidently say very young and kicked in.
But do you remember seeing something that
really I kind of wanted to imitate and have my own, do it for myself?
Yeah.
Oh man. I definitely have had that experience. And it's I can think of 5 different things off the top of my head. I mean, I was so big. There's this movie called Small Soldiers, and it was one of the coolest movies of all time. And it was probably one of the most creative movies of all time. These little toy elite, soldiers, badass soldiers. I mean, they made the craziest little war machines. Seeing the creativity. This is totally different than what I'm doing now, but seeing them put together a fatal weapon out of a nail gun, mounted on a microwave or mounted on a toaster, and driving these things driving it around, and it was the creativity that went into it sparked it in me, and I was putting together random shit. I was 11 years old, and I was putting stuff together obviously nothing that worked, but it was that feeling of
you were making
something. I'm this is the best. This is so cool.
Yeah.
Producing, and that really, that movie sticks in my head so hard. It's the background on my laptop right now.
But that
Commando Elite.
That DIY.
Yeah, that's the ultimate
thing. It stuck with you.
Yeah,
it made you want to do more stuff.
Yeah, definitely compounded from that.
Do you think because of the limited exposure that we had being in a small town kind of influenced you more to do it yourself because someone wasn't going to do it for you?
I would say no doubt, especially if you have the mentalities like you and I have and our interests, you kind of would go mad if you didn't take on that outlook of creating your own fun or creating your own type of product. If we don't have any stores or skate shops or anything that really produces, or we can go out and experience. We have a skate park, luckily, but we don't have true things that like I had access to go to like a small theater and see interesting films or something like that. And you got to take it on. You got to take it on for yourself, and you got to be able to. You got to be creative about. Yeah, that's like a really deep topic. I guess you can go on. You can go on 30 minutes about how like being restricted from resources, you have to find a way to get what you're interested in, keep it alive in you. When you don't have it access, you got to find a way to keep it rolling.
And I think even if you are secluded and you don't have maybe someone in your life that's doing the kind of things that you want, or maybe it's just not as realistic to you, I think everyone has that point in their life where they see something that you get that spark, and it's how you react to it.
Yeah.
I mean, for you, it was seeing the things that they were making in Small Soldiers.
Yeah.
Like I could do that.
Yeah, I could make that. I have stuff in my garage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's that spark that if you respond to it right. I know for me, my biggest thing when I was a kid was watching like professional wrestling.
Yeah.
And that's funny. It's pretty much in the same realm as Small Soldiers.
Yeah, they definitely have a relation there.
But basically, what I always felt to be so appealing about professional wrestling back in the day and even now, is just professional wrestling. I'm gonna sound like a freaking nerd right now.
Sorry, man. Like you said, we're gonna be truthful.
But yeah,
we're gonna be transparent.
It is so much more artistic than people realize.
Yeah.
There's so much character development. And I've always found it so confusing.
We're going to have to get Adam on here for an episode.
Yeah,
me and Adam go to town on that.
Yeah, and put everybody to sleep. Yeah. I feel like me and Adam are too much alike.
Yeah. But, we'll save that for another time.
Yeah, but anyway. So, I remember when I was a kid, like, the feeling of, like, somebody's music hits. And it's the music. It's how they're dressed. It's how they act.
And they picked it all out
It's their style
too.
in the ring. It's like... It's the perfect art direction. Yeah. Like the colors you wear.
Yeah.
It's like the whole because that exposure to seeing that, to finding what you like. You have all these options of all these people that dress a certain way, and they come out to this music and they have this persona, and you get to choose when you're a kid the people that you like.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the first time you're really finding out the style that you like. It's like when you watch a skate video and you're like, that guy dresses, that guy looks, that guy skates.
There's similarities there too, even.
Yeah, there is a similarity. So like whenever I was a kid, I was just like, I want to be
these
Jeff
guys are
Hardy.
creating their own universes.
I want to be the Hardy Boys. I want to have crazy neon color. I mean, that's still pretty damn true to what I'm doing now.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you look at the last 5 graphics I put up on my Instagram, it's pretty much Hardy Boys.
Yeah, it's very neon,
but I mean, it's just basically that
neon inspiration.
Those chills that I would get when I was a kid when I'd see somebody come out to their music.
Yeah.
And it just had that effect on me where I was just like, I want to emulate that. In any way that I can.
Yeah, I think that's the best part about making something is using those little inspirations of things you like and creating your own thing out of it. Whether it's compiled of 4 different things you like or 2
so,
or
I mean,
10. That's a great way to put it. Hardy Boys.
Yeah, I mean,
inspiration on skate videos. I mean, that's for real. You can find inspiration from anything.
That is my earliest memory that I have of seeing something like that and knowing that I'm the type of person that is going to make something.
Yeah.
I'm going to make something like that someday. That's sort of my earliest memories of like knowing I was that kind of guy.
That was a great question because I never really I'm happy with my answer. I could have really answered that a lot worse.
I sort of knew my answer.
Yeah.
So when you said small surges, I was just like, okay, that's like kind of perfect because it's a lot like what I'm gonna say.
Yeah, excellent.
Yeah.
This is going good.
What made you think starting a clothing brand would be possible? Like, what gave you the idea to actually go through and get the designs made and get the shirts made?
Yeah, it's when you first kind of conceive an idea like that, when it first comes to you, you kind of, at least I did, you kind of feel like, how is this even possible? Where do I even start with this? Because I had zero experience with, I don't know Photoshop enough to create a good enough graphic to be printed on a shirt. I didn't even know like the process of wholesale or buying blanks, or I didn't even know who to go to when I first started. But luckily we have friends who, one of the things that really helped me is we have good friends who run a screen printing business, so that was a big driver right there. So
we were seeing bands make their own t-shirts.
I was seeing people, even in this small area, I was still seeing it be done. So it was like, this is not that far off of a possibility. This is definitely attainable. Even if it wasn't, I had the big enough interest that I could find a way to make it happen. So a lot of what started, it was a lot of coordination and help with other people. And luckily I have good relationships with a lot of other people who had the right skills. And as soon as it took a little longer, obviously, to get the first thing put out, and as soon as I was able to get the first crew neck put out and it worked, I'm like, this is only going to get easier for me. I can really grow with it and get a little more peculiar and specific with designs, and I already have a foundation with the guys who print them. I have a guy I know who does the design work, so I'm like, oh, I can run with this. And then the thing that started off seeming impossible was like becoming a second nature process for me now.
Yeah.
And I can even bleed into even harder aspects of maybe cut and sew.
Yeah, and I think that's a testament to, if you have someone that has that drive and just wants to do it for themselves, that's how someone can really benefit from doing that in a small place.
Yeah.
When I think of the print shop, to do what they're doing in New York City, right, it would be a totally different process. Who knows if they would be running as long as they have been, or that resource would have been available for you.
Yeah, there could be a similar place right down the block.
Yeah,
somewhere like New York. Whether here, that's totally.
Yeah, but here they're not. They're not spending every dime they make staying open or paying the rent.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
People who haven't spent that much time doing creative things think that you have to move away to do them.
Yeah, that's definitely a stigma.
I think that if it's in you, you can get it done wherever, which is sort of the premise that we're going for there. But
this is exactly what we're trying to drive.
The best example is our friend that opened up the print shop.
Yeah.
He's been involved in the music scene for as long as I've known him, and I've known him for a long time now. And through that, it got him into printing t-shirts, and now I can't tell you the amount of clients he has. Mm-hmm. He's turned it into a huge success, and through that, you've got to do what you want to do.
I've got to utilize it.
Yeah. I mean, it's a total testament to saying I don't need to go off to LA or New York to make that dream happen. Mm-hmm. I just need to make it happen now. I need to make it happen for myself.
Yeah. I would like to add that I think that the best creatives are the ones who hang back in their hometown, no matter the size of it or how secluded they are or isolated from other things. I think those are what shape and create and form the best creatives that have the truest, most original taste and drive for what they're doing. Yeah. They're not easily influenced either.
The funny thing is like, I do think it actually does come down to the person and not the place, because there are definitely people that I know, me and Jake both have an immense amount of respect for and just love for the stuff that they do and the stuff that they make that live in New York City.
Oh my
or
God!
live in LA.
Nothing against those places.
Yeah, we're not putting any of those places down, but I do think it does come down to the person, because I know.
I bet the people, like an example of someone I know we're thinking of right now is Mark Gonzalez. I think no matter where he may have been, he would have made it work.
Yeah.
I really think it would have worked for him no matter where he would have been.
Yeah.
Whether he would have moved to New York later in life or not, I think he had that ultimate drive and creative sense and the want to put stuff out there that it would have worked no matter whether he's in Punxsutawney, he would have made it work here.
Yeah. And that's the thing is, like, you think about New York, you have culture hitting you in 15 different places at all times.
Yeah, you're getting swarmed.
So I think it'd be harder
flooded by it.
I think it'd be harder to come up with an original
to curate,
thought, to have an idea and to go through with it without it being bitten off of something else.
It would be hard.
In that big city atmosphere would be difficult. So I think when you see someone like that, it really sticks out whenever, like, the Gons can... It's such a natural thing. You could see a video of him that was shot on a cell phone, and you just know...
You want to watch it over and over again.
Yeah. In fact, I'll keep this brief, but one of the best things I've seen this week was Crooked posted a video that some kid shot on a cell phone of Mark Gonzalez skating at an art gallery.
Oh, man.
So all it was...
I gotta look that up.
There was just like there was like this weird box that he like laid down on his board and like tunneled through.
Yeah.
And there was a ramp going up to a wall, and he was riding like a big stocky, like, not a longboard, but like a long skateboard.
Yeah, I've seen him
and
skate those.
The thing is I saw that video, and it was paired with this music and the way that he was dressed and the way that he skated. It was just so... It was superhuman.
It has a sense of fluency to it, and it's so natural, man.
It's so natural. You just know.
You can see that. You can, if you're a creative like us, you can perceive that so well.
Yeah, and what bothers me about skateboarders, and I obviously consider myself a skateboarder, but I look at comments on a video like that, and I try not to, but sometimes I do, and it's people that are like, "Oh, this is so fucking lame."
Pure ignorance, man.
You know, longboards, art studios, this isn't skateboarding. And then I look at those people, and these aren't the people that are...
Those are the people that you don't want praising you, too.
Yeah, though. And this is the thing, though. Like, the people that are so, like, up everyone's ass about how people are supposed to skateboard and what they're supposed to do, those are not the people that are out getting gnarly in the bowls and drinking and putting out that stuff. They want to give you that vibe that they're like, oh, we're these elite skateboarders. We only skate pools, and we only, we camp and we drink beer all night. And it's just like, no, you're like the overweight old guy. Yeah. It's just those people that are elitists and they bitch. And it's like, are you out skating every day? Because I don't think you are.
Have you produced anything?
Are you skating? Like, Mark Gonzalez has nothing to prove to you. He skates every day.
He doesn't have that in his head at all when he's doing this stuff.
Yeah.
What those kids are going to think. That's
the beautiful thing is that he doesn't need to care about what they think. I think that's what
we need to always keep in mind, too, when we're doing stuff. But we do.
That's what's so interesting about it. Obviously, with Thrasher getting bigger, and I love all the stuff that Thrasher does, but these people that worship...
It's on cable television now.
Yeah, the people that worship that lifestyle are not the people that are
involved
really
with it.
Yeah, they're not living that life.
Close to that.
They're just worshiping it.
Yeah,
and they don't recognize that. Hey, this guy has the most natural talent on a skateboard that has ever been conceived.
I would say that's one of the issues that arise with the connectivity of technology and stuff. You live vicariously so hard through an outlet like that you basically have this delusion that you're in it.
Yeah.
When you're not really in it, so then you can feel like you have the right, or you've earned the right to speak on it, and the people that are speaking on it have earned zero right because they aren't involved with anything even remotely close to the activities that they're doing.
Yeah.
But they believe in their head that they're involved in it because they follow it so hard.
So, I mean, it's unfortunate, but at the same time, just getting back to what I was originally saying is that people like Mark Gonzalez just stand out. But it doesn't matter that he has been immersed in this city culture because it's just the person that he is. I mean, you look at people like Lance Mountain in the Bones Brigade documentary, they talked about him being like a weird wood out in the boonies type hick guy, and then you look at him on a skateboard, he's one of the most creative people you'll ever see. And it's just, it doesn't matter where you are, it just matters what you're willing to do.
Yeah.
What you're willing to take a chance on.
And if you're really doing it with like your true heart, and you're not like trying to do something that's not you.
Yeah.
Doing it for real, and like that really shows in the stuff you put out. Like the Gons, I've never seen them do anything that seemed like awkward or out of place.
To bring it back to you, is that this is an idea that could easily exist probably anywhere in the world. This seller services, this clothing brand.
Yeah.
And I think it would do well, but the reason why I think everyone that knows about it likes it so much is because they see the connection between you and it. And there is that factor plays in where it's like, this garment represents the relationship
like
I have with this person and like the things
that are involved with that. Yeah, definitely. That's big help with this area. What was like your mentality like whenever this idea first came to you, and what was your head like to make it start and kick off for you?
It was a little weird when I got out of college figuring out what I was going to do, because even up until that point I did always say that, I'm just going to move out into the city or whatever. It was just a super vague thing.
Yeah.
But I got this opportunity to shoot a documentary about a skate park in Pittsburgh. And through that, I reconnected with skateboarding. I feel like up until that point, I had pretty much completely isolated myself from it. I wasn't making trips to Pittsburgh. I wasn't really meeting any new skaters or anything. So through that, I really found my footing again. I found that I can make this content, I can talk to these people, and I can put out the kind of stuff that I want to see.
Yep.
So after getting that momentum from working on that one project, it was like, I need to keep this momentum going. And I can't put out the content I want to see by myself. I want to recognize that it factor in other people. Mm-hmm. So basically, it just came down to, I don't want all these videos to go under the name Jacob Brady. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I want all these videos to go under the name of Gray Sequence TV. Yeah. I want it to go under the name of something that doesn't connect to one person. Yeah. I want people to see it as like a deity, not a one man, whatever.
No, I
with a
definitely
tripod.
Back that up.
So basically, that's what inspired me. I just wanted it to appear as an official resource.
Collective. Almost.
Yeah. So, and I wanted, I'll put it this way. I wanted a library of content that was all stuff that I was proud of, but I didn't have to put my name on it. Mm-hmm. I wanted it to be able to exist on its own.
Yeah.
So that's basically what inspired me to go ahead and do that. I made the Instagram, the YouTube. I had content ready to put up. I put it all up, and then it was kind of nice. It was like the first question I get from everybody is, who is that? What is that thing? What's Gray Sequence TV?
You achieved your goal.
Yeah, it was like, that was the kind of thing that I wanted. I didn't want people to think, oh, it's just Jacob Brady doing more of his skateboarding videos. I wanted it to be like, why does he keep pushing this thing that I still don't know what it is? Mm-hmm. And then I wanted it to grow into something that people did know what it was. They just didn't associate it with me anymore.
Yeah.
Which is...
I can agree with that totally.
Kind of where it's gone. Yeah. But that's how I got into it. Mm-hmm. When I thought of a theme for this podcast, I kind of wanted to make it more of a general thing. You know, both of us I'm real into skateboarding, you're real into BMX and clothes, and I'm real into, films, and you're into that too. We're both really passionate about certain things.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'll steal a quote from Ed Templeton in the Harmony Korine Epically Later.
Oh, great series.
Basically, I would say if you looked at some of my best work, that is where a lot of the inspiration pulls from, is Epically Later. Just basically just doing projects with Trevor, who edited on Epically Later for a while.
Yeah.
But anyway, Ed is talking about kids.
Yeah.
And what he says is the reason why Kids is the best skate movie is because it's not about skateboarding.
Yeah.
It's a movie about something else that has skateboarding in it.
Mm-hmm.
If we did a whole podcast about skateboarding, probably be corny.
Yeah.
Probably be bad.
Everyone's tried it.
We're trying to keep it general because we want there to be all kinds of
We're really
creative...
interested in the branching off factor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we're always going to reference skateboarding and BMX because that's what we like, but that's not all we like.
No, not at all.
So, I mean...
a lot of outside influence.
What is an outside influence that inspires what the kind of clothes you make or what the kind of content you like?
Yeah, this is going to be a non-expected answer, but I'm big. I read a ton of books. I read a lot of books and various books from mostly nonfiction, but I read books from anything from the guy who founded Pixar Animation, who talks about his creative process and how the way he holds meetings or his outlook on how to create a storyboard or how to form a concept, to a deeper book, something by like an old Russian guy named Fyodor Dostoevsky, who has like an even deeper, like, good touches on some of the weird philosophical aspects of life. And it's like a lot of that has this idea that I want to bring to Cellar, where I touch on the fun-loving, random comedy, like Pixar animation with something deep and profound and a real part of life. You bring like the rough, the deeper, darker aspects of life with something fun and pleasing and something that everyone wants to talk about, and kind of find this crazy medium that you bring those two worlds to create this. So, and that's Cellar.
So appealing.
That's what I want Cellar to be, like the ultimate. Yeah. Like, so this next drop I have kind of plays on that, where I want to have this kind of template for when I do drops, where I have shirts that are real fun-loving and like light and casual, and then I have something that's kind of intense and deep, and keep that. That is like two spectrums.
Yeah, I think anytime you can pull that sort of thing off, it just has such a natural uplift whenever you.
It's like the rawness, realness, but you make it intertwined with like a easygoing, fun-loving, simple thing. It's like if you can. That's like my biggest goal with everything I do.
Yeah.
Just I'm trying to find.
I think there's
the ultimate route of doing that, and I think that's what really can bring me to the next level.
Yeah, and I think there's a huge draw to that in almost any kind of platform, but I do think in clothes that'd be the
best. That's the idea that I'm going for. That's what I'm really striving with right now.
Well, I'm looking forward to that.
For you, what is like we said, we obviously have similar interests, but we branch outside deeply, and so what's some things that are unexpected or even.
Well, I mean, I would probably. I listen to a ton of podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
The one I listen to the most is this podcast called We Watch Wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that it's going to get back to me talking about wrestling, but basically it's three comedians. One who I look up to a lot, Matt McCarthy. He was on one of my favorite shows, the Pete Holmes show. And so I kind of followed his...
Can I ask, which one was that?
Matt McCarthy was the redheaded guy. He was in a lot of the skits in the bat. He was Blanca in the Street Fighter skit.
Okay.
He's kind of bigger.
Yeah.
Anyway, him and his friends, they're comedians, so their outlook on wrestling is a lot more appealing than a wrestling fan's outlook on wrestling, because they can at least see the realism in it. They love it, just like I love it. but they can also take a step back and kind of laugh at it.
Yeah.
And so a lot of what they talk about is like nostalgic wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
And I think one of the biggest things I want to try to emulate in my art direction and my videos is that I want the look of my videos to kind of bring you back to an era.
Mm-hmm.
There was kind of a golden era of wrestling where it was like Mankind coming out with black, red flannel to some grungy song with a crash, and then the Hardy Boys have their neon, and it's like this dark. And I just think of like this like kind of 80s lightning dark with the grungy guitar and just like really raw, like the same kind of look I get from like Dinosaur Jr. album covers. You know, like
that's a good
these neon. It just is such a appealing look to me.
Yeah.
And another thing that I'm trying to go for too is I always try to play with embracing my surroundings as far as art goes, but that's really hard. It's harder than it sounds.
Yeah. It seems like something that's easy, but I can get where you're coming from.
Yeah, it's just like, we live in a really pretty place, but I mean, at the same time, it's really, a tree's not different.
Yeah.
So basically, like, what I want to start to do is try to bring some of that excitement from different places and kind of put it in my surroundings.
Yeah.
Meaning, I want to try to bring the excitement that you would see from watching a video of Mark Gonzalez skate through New York City and bring that kind of look and that kind of concept and that feeling. I want that to come across in the stuff that I'm making.
Yeah.
And I know I could do that here without it literally being shots of buildings and whatever. And I think that that does give me a leg up to people that are filming all their skate videos all in the city, because I mean, I'm thinking of Pittsburgh. I can't tell you the amount of skate videos I've seen where it's a video of someone skating out on Mount Washington with the city in the background and all the buildings, and it's like, yeah, that stuff's cool, it looks really nice, but it's boring me.
Yeah.
It's like, it's boring to me now.
Yeah.
I want to see different lifestyles within skateboarding.
I agree with that.
Like when I watch King of the Road.
It's kind of shoved down our throat at this point.
When I watch King of the Road and I saw, think what you will, a lot of people hated Clint Walker.
Oh, that makes sense.
But one thing that I really liked about him, and one of the things I like about the Birdhouse guys, is that they're different. They unapologetically are just themselves. They all look like people that would be called kooks.
Yeah, hopefully that's what everyone strives for, too.
Yeah, this whole idea that if you're not this type of skater, you're a kook. And I'm definitely, I've judged the way people dress and how they ride a skateboard.
Yeah, you do it like subconsciously.
Yeah, and I think
you're not speaking on it all the time, though, either.
I mean, I'm just saying it because I would be a hypocrite if I didn't say it.
Yeah.
It comes out,
yeah.
And it's, whatever you like is what you like, and you should skate to have fun. I think what it all comes down to is good skate content. Good skate content should make you want to go out and skate. I went way off on a tangent, but basically what that all came back to was I'm trying to emulate the excitement of 90s wrestling with dark 80s lightning and just bringing the excitement of a city and kind of
that sounds like something I really want to see.
That content.
Yeah.
I'm trying to. That's my next phase. Yeah. I hope one day that I'll get to a phase that I want to stay in, and
that's definitely.
That's
definitely in your reach, I'd say.
Yeah, and I'm trying to just go for a look that would work in skateboarding, but is different, and that's really hard to do these days because
everyone's trying that.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's, I hate to say it, but like the stuff that's really trendy in skateboarding is trendy because it works.
And it is cool.
It's cool. I'm not gonna, like, I won't put down. There's a million brands out there that are probably trying to be like Polar,
Mm-hmm.
or trying to be like Quasi,
Like Palace,
or whatever. It's like, but I can't put them down because I like it.
Mm-hmm.
I
like it
I
too.
have no problem with it.
Yeah.
I love seeing the graphics. Those Polar videos with those graphics, that's magnum opus.
Mm-hmm.
I want to do something like that, but in a different way.
Well, like the types of like little animations they put into that new Weekend video that you showed me, was that was like that really like hit me, like, wow, this is damn sweet.
Yeah. So I think that can segue us into the next part of this. What I want to talk about next is things that we've seen recently that we are inspired by, or just whatever's fresh, because I do think like this is a good opportunity to maybe plug some other things that if people are listening and they don't know about this stuff,
they can go and see it.
They can go and see it. One of the best things in skateboarding that I've seen probably in the last 3 or 4 years, Weekend put out this video Stories.
Yeah.
That is, it exemplifies pretty much everything I love about skateboarding.
Mm-hmm.
And those guys pull it off really easy because, number one, they're just so good at skateboarding.
Mm-hmm.
The Weekend guys perfected being good at skateboarding and making it look really appealing.
Yeah.
Like no other.
Mm-hmm.
Like I watch videos of Weekend guys skating in a parking lot, and it makes me want to skate every time because it's just the way that they do it, the amount of fun that they're having, and that is the appeal that we all want when we're putting out content.
Yeah.
To like, I want this to excite you.
Yeah.
And that's what Stories did. It's just that graphic design and just that whole DIY mentality of we don't need to go out to the best spot. We don't need to go out and skate a 20-stair handrail. We'll go out to the parking lot, grab a TV out of the dumpster, and put on a freaking clinic. Like, that is the kind of content that I've always dreamt. Like, someday I hope to be there.
That's the benchmark for you.
Yeah. So, I mean, that video just embodied everything that I love about skating. Mm-hmm. Weekend Stories that was it.
Yeah.
So for you, what's something that you've seen recently that stuck out?
I think I brought this up in one of the previous rounds we tried to have a go at this with, but there's a younger kid. He's, I think, 19, and I'll tell you what it is about him. He's a very polarizing person, very hated and loved. His name's Ass Pizza, and he's like a 19-year-old kid, and he's very successful with. He makes clothes, and he does it in like the most non-conventional way. Like he's basically homeless. He'll like link up with like a kid who can sew, and he'll live with him for like a month, and they'll travel, and he'll just live like really crappily in a garage or something, like the worst conditions, and he's surrounded by all his clothes, and he's like sitting there, like he's hungry. He's like talks about how this shit sucks, but like he's doing it in a way that's like raw and true to himself, and he's like. And all he's doing is he goes and buys a bunch of blanks. Like he'll buy a bunch of flannels from Walmart, and he has like these random drawings he does, and he'll have his buddies sew them on there, and he'll go meet kids in a parking lot, and there'll be like 80 kids that show up and buy them. He won't even put them online, and he'll sell them to them right there. And it's like that's that aspect of distributing your clothes. True
DIY.
He's the truest of them all when it comes to DIY. Like he got banned from PayPal. He can't even receive money for selling his clothes online. So he went on a tour where he went to different Walmart parking lots in different cities and gave out the location, and tons of kids would show up and buy the clothes directly off of him that he made in like God knows where. In the van, probably made some of the gear in the van that he was in on the way to the spot. Like and it's like the truest, realest. He's not trying to impress anyone. He hates a lot of the trends, but he's like, he's got celebrities wearing his stuff. It's amazing. What he's done to pull this stuff off, and he's like, he hates like the superficial aspect of it or the fame. He's like trying to be hidden, like we're saying, and he's like,
Yeah.
I like to do this. I'm putting it out, and I don't want you to like me. I don't want you to know.
You turned me on to him.
Yeah.
And the thing that I really like, and I'm hooked on it to an extent. When I see recommended videos of Ass Beats, I have to watch, because like the one thing that he does, and the people that document him do a good job at this too, is ever since I saw the documentary King of Kong Fistful of Quarters, or the Confessions of a Superhero, I've always been able to relate and really get sucked into the hero's journey, and just like documenting someone who is just like, conventional, like the average person would be like, what a loser, you know? But and he puts all of his emotions out there. It's like you get every part of him. He wears all of his emotions on his sleeve. And you just get so pulled into his story, and then like when he starts doing it, you're like, this, I can't stop watching this guy. Like,
it's amazing. It's the vacuum he pulls you in with.
Yeah.
And it's like, I think it's mainly, like you said, Mark Gonzalez type of aspect. He's doing this without any like superficial aspect or putting on a show.
Yeah.
He's like,
it's all natural.
He'll be in a documentary, and he's like talking about how bummed out he is right now. He's like, this place fucking blows. And he's like throwing knives in the wall, and he's like, yeah, whatever. I don't care if you like my stuff, but people like it, and he does it in the right way, and he really does care about his stuff. But like, he'll get an super expensive pair of denim, and he'll like immediately spray paint on them and stuff, and throw them in a swamp. He's like, I'm gonna sell these for $200 tomorrow.
Yeah,
like that's crazy. That's like an amazing thing to me. It's a phenomenon.
I mean, man, imagine just like if the whole world was like that. Like it's scary, but at the same time it'd be exciting.
That sounds like a utopia for me.
Yeah.
That sounds like,
I just think about like when me and Jake were really into that show Abandoned that ran on
Rick
Vice.
McCrank, one of my all-time favorites.
Yeah, and we're both really into post-radical too, but like in Abandoned, whenever he goes to that church and they repurpose it and make it a skate park, and he just says, it really struck a chord with me, where he's just like, what if every abandoned area just did this?
Oh man,
like it would be that's exactly what needs to happen.
Oh, that would be the dream.
But that embodies what we're trying to say.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
Like, these
everyone
people,
had that attitude.
Okay, in New York City, it'd be a lot harder to go to an abandoned church and open up a skate park without it being polluted.
Yeah.
But if you do it in St. Louis, where no one wants to go, they'll do that, and it'll be the most artistic, cool-looking thing.
Yeah.
And that's something that we could do here and maybe even get away with. It's just, the illusion that if you want to be an actor, or if you want to be a filmmaker or a musician or whatever, like the illusion, it's outdated that like it's like, well, you have to either go to New York or LA or you're just not going to survive.
That definitely needs to be put to rest.
One of the things that I realized when I got older is I don't have a very big list of alumni from my film program, but I know all of them. I'm on Facebook, whatever.
Yeah.
And I look at the kind of stuff that they do, and I look at the people that quit. They quit making videos, or they quit doing what they wanted. And it's not to put them down, but it just doesn't seem like there's nothing more satisfying to move on to.
Yeah.
That's sort of my biggest motivation.
Like people start somewhere and then they end up on that. It's like they started with a dream and then immediately kind of...
And it's just like, you don't have to stop. You can go on and do other things, but just like...
Yeah, you don't have to... Yeah, exactly. I mean, why would you quit completely?
But like, people get so bent out of shape because of these rules that don't exist about, oh, well, if you don't make it to LA, or if you don't make it, if you have to move away, if you can't afford to live there, then you lost. You can't do it. And we live in a time where that's just not true.
Yeah, that's not an excuse anymore. That's not that needs to be. I have that in my head now. Every abandoned church being like a renovated DIY skate park, and that's like the best thought ever.
Yeah.
I have like a a stream of ideas running through my head after hearing that.
I know.
Like
that's what it did for me when I
can't even
watched
think
it.
right now.
That's why I love that Abandoned show, and I love everything that Rick McCrank is a part of, because they really tell the message that it's a true... I talked a lot about, elite skateboarders who are, they want to embody all that skateboarding is. Rick McCrank is about as real of a skateboarder as you can be. And
I love that. I love that guy.
The content that he's putting out is exactly the kind of content that a real skater believes. Mm-hmm. And that is that you can skate wherever you want. Skateboarding is an opportunity
skate however you want.
And skateboarding is an opportunity to explore. Mm-hmm. And these people that are confining themselves to, oh, well, I'm going to move to SF and only bomb hills and drink beer and skate empty pools and whatever. It's just like, then you're missing out. You're not having fun.
What a tunneled way to approach such a big thing.
And whatever, I might make enemies. I don't really care.
Yeah.
That's how I've felt, and that's how I'll always feel.
If we could get everyone on board with that mentality, man, what a great, better place we can have in every little area for skateboarding and kids to really get involved and get these younger kids out of the house and doing this, because we can't let this die off.
Yeah, so we definitely... It's funny that, with every question we have, it comes back to the original premise, which is you could do whatever you want, wherever you want. You just have to do it.
Yeah, you have to do it.
That's
and
literally...
not be too critical on yourself about it.
All it comes down to. Yeah. That's why we love Mark Gonzalez so much, is because he is the living embodiment of, I'm just going to do it. Mm-hmm. No one's paying him to go out and ride a mountain bike on the wall, but he's gonna go do it. Clip. He's gonna go do it, and I'm gonna watch him do it a million times because it's the best,
and it's gonna make me feel so excited. And
it's just so exciting. Yeah. Like, it's just like he didn't have to do that.
He probably didn't even ask for someone to come film it with him.
Yeah, he just
probably didn't say, "Hey, quick, get this." He probably
he's just like, "Oh, I'm gonna put on roller skates and just roll through New York City." It's like, that sounds like fun. I want to do that right now.
Time. Yeah,
that sounds like
I
a great time.
I want to do that right now too. Damn.
We totally could do that.
Yeah,
we could do that.
Yeah, we could. I guess we could. We could take rollerblades down Woodland Avenue. Right
now.
That'd be cool as hell. I bet we could find some little nooks and crannies in the street. Yeah. That we could. I've been thinking of. I don't care if this is included in the podcast or not, but I got to speak on it. But even in a neighborhood like East End, we could spend a night where we had you had your board, my bike, and go cruise around late at night or whatever, and have a camera or a couple tools. And there's definitely spots that we can find here that we can spend 2 hours at doing the weirdest. We're looking at filming. This is possible in this 10-mile radius.
Yeah.
Not even. It's 2 mile radius.
But that's just it. It's like, I definitely would love to go to these New York spots and these LA spots and whatever and skate with these people. That would be great.
Oh, I would too. But I'm not letting that hold me back from what we have in front of us.
And at the same time, what am I going to do at some New York, that Black Hubba spot in New York? Mm-hmm. What am I going to do there that anyone's going to want to watch?
Yeah. Everyone's seen that.
Yeah, they've seen every...
repeated.
Every trick you could possibly do on that thing has been done.
Yeah.
But I would want to... If someone put a piece of plywood onto a train in the middle of the most rural area they can find and did a gap from one train car to the other, just a dumb example, it's amazing. I would rather watch that.
That takes the sport out of it and truly makes it the art form that it is.
Exactly. No, that's perfect.
Yeah.
I think that totally embodies what we're talking about.
Yeah.
So I guess to close it out, we should just talk about kind of where we are right now with what we're doing.
Yeah.
You had mentioned that you had a couple of garments coming out.
Yeah.
So
right now I'm just anticipating I have everything set up, squared away. So I have 2 new T-shirts. It's been about a month and a half, 2 months since my last drop, and that's kind of long now. So I'm getting requests. So I have 2 T-shirts coming. Designs I'm really excited for everyone to see, and I have a design completed for a hat, and I'm be working with Jacob on some videos, some film, some short promos, whatnot, that are seller oriented, and those are really what I'm most excited for.
Yeah.
Is to get some seller oriented clips out, because there's only a few, but every little thing, whether it's a 50-second clip has been a hit. So keep that rolling.
Yeah, and I think that's really exciting to me, because that's the kind of stuff I want to do, and not everything in my life gives me that chance.
Yeah, and the clips that I put together for the one promo was the most random, quick. Like, I filmed it drunk. Like, filmed my dad at my beach house, like DJing with music, and like put that in, or my buddies dancing at my camp, or something so simple like that, and we laid it out in a video, right, with background music and editing, and you can turn something so simple as 20-second clips into like a beautiful little stream of a promo.
It does.
That's all it takes.
It embodies the lifestyle.
Yeah, and you
see the clothes, and you see the correlation.
And the stuff that I was filming was not planned. It was like the heat of the moment. Let's get a little clip of this. And people didn't even know I was filming them, and that's what works out the best.
Yeah.
So what about you? What do you have coming up?
So, I mean, my biggest focus is, what I'm thinking about right now is this podcast. You know, for it being a video podcast, I really want to commit to that idea.
Yeah,
I definitely
100% want to commit to that idea.
It's definitely challenging, but I mean, that would be a main
One of our
focus.
cameras already died on us.
I work freelance, so I pretty much film all the time, and I have a lot of clients right now. It's summer, so it's just trying to find that balance between that and doing what I want. But I guess when it comes to the content that I want to film and what I want to put out moving forward, is just going on more trips.
Yeah.
Bringing my camera to more events, bringing my camera to parties, and just trying to really embody the fun, because you don't have that fun content when you plan it out. You just kind of have to be there.
Yeah.
You have to be there, and you have to be present.
You couldn't say any better.
And you have to capture it.
Yeah.
And that's basically what my plans are moving forward, is to capture it, and then from that raw content, work off that, and then really work on this art direction stuff that I want to do.
Yeah.
And that's basically it.
I think both of us are in a good spot. We're in a good spot to really take things higher. So we need to get these videos made, and hopefully you all get to see this.
Yeah, hopefully our fingers are
whether
crossed.
We get 5 viewers or 500, we had a great time doing this, and there's definitely some insights in here that I think that we want people to hear and to follow in our paths, or come reach out to us. If you're someone who's listening to this and you have an idea or want to be involved in a way, don't hesitate. We're definitely cool with whatever, and we'd love to have
you on.
Yeah, maybe have you on.
We'd love to hear about what you're doing. Maybe
I'm really excited to get some guests on here too.
Yeah.
But this was definitely the perfect first.
Yeah, we just wanted people to get a glimpse of who we are and where our minds are at, and I think that we accomplished that. So
we got to get that details and information in first.
Yeah.
And this is so Cave Planet. We're up high in a cave right now. Even though we're 3 stories up, we're still in a cave.
Yes. A very pretty cave.
Very pretty cave.
Brown curtains. But episode 1, that is a wrap.
That's a wrap.
I can confidently say that I think is a wrap.
This is a
so
wrap.
That didn't sound confident.
I'm going to tell you this. It's done. It's done right. We're done. We're out of here. We're golden. Boom. That's it.
That's it.